Here at the Second City Theater in Chicago, they're preparing to celebrate their 50th anniversary as the epicenter of improvisational comedy. And with me today is Shelly Gossman, a performer on that same Second City stage which served as a launching pad for the likes of Bill Murray, Tina Fey, and Steve Carell. Now, Shelly, you were recently invited to audition for the second time for a spot in the cast of Saturday Night Live, which for a lot of people out there would seem like a dream come true. And I think that when people hear about something like this, they wonder to themselves, how did she get to the point where she got on SNL's radar?
Right. Well, because of exactly what you said, because Second City is a stage where Tina Fey and Bill Murray and, Carell and Colbert came from. We are really lucky here when you're a resident company member that SNL usually once, maybe twice, lucky for me twice in the past year, they have come and they will watch our entire show. So it's what we do every night for audiences that we perform for every night, and it's just our natural environment. So it's very different than, there's usually showcases in LA, or there's even showcases here at other theaters. When SNL comes in, they'll put on a showcase. But when SNL comes to Second City, they watch the review. So
now the improvisational community is pretty incestuous, because you've got in LA the Groundlings, in New York Upright Citizen Brigade, and here you have I.O. and the Annoyance in Second City, of course. How important is that network to you?
The network of theaters in Chicago, it's huge. I have never done the festivals, but there's amazing festivals all around the country now, which is great. But here in Chicago, it's huge. I mean, I've performed at I.O. I took classes at Annoyance. I think getting your chops anywhere else is helpful. I mean, a lot of the performers on the resident company still run off and do shows late night at Improv Olympic. Right. So here it's very much a family. And Chicago, I think, for the most part, there's not as much of a industry element as there is in LA. So it's like here it's more, you have to really be more about the art than the business side, because here there's like 12 paying jobs for improvisers, and I feel really blessed to have one of them.
Right. And that makes me wonder then, what do you actually have to give up to get where you are?
Well, for me, I always had a day job and did it at night. So for the first 6 years of being an improviser, I gave up sleep. And now, to be paid to be an improviser, I give up any holidays with my family, any nights with a loved one.
Right. Now, how many shows do you do?
8 shows a week. We only have Monday night off. So you have one night off. I also give up the chance to take in any other performance unless they have a matinee show. As
an actor, when you're on stage, your job one is to kind of get people to suspend their disbelief. I've seen a lot of actors in my life who just have never been able to do it, and they can be hysterically funny and terrific writers, but they just can't do that. Do you remember a time when you couldn't do that?
I think it varies night to night, and especially what we do. Sometimes we have the audience in the palm of our hand, and sometimes they're not with us. But I also think my background is as an actor, and I still feel almost more of that than like a comedian, which is, I think, makes me just different here. Not in there's a lot more actresses than there are female improvisers, but my roots are in straight acting. So
I mean, that's true. Female improvisers are kind of a rare breed.
Luckily, they're becoming more and more common, which is great. Yeah. But I know, coming from, I went to a theater conservatory, and that's where I was exposed to improv for the first time.
So did you ever have any, desire to perform on stage before that? Is it just something you were thinking about, or you just stumble into it?
Oh, huge. I mean, I acted since I was 6 years old.
Okay.
In church plays. We went to one of those huge mega churches, and I was in church
Passion plays, or? Passion
plays, yes, and Salty's Sing-Along-a-thon Maranatha Marathon, which is like children's Christian stories. Yeah, that's where I got my start. But and I acted all through middle school, high school. But I wanted to be a straight actress. Still, part of me is like, how could I ever do a play at the Goodman? I would knock my socks off.
So now, as you said before, you've auditioned twice now for SNL. What was that like?
For me, it was awesome. One because both times I was called from them seeing the Second City show. So that's a 2-hour show where they get to see you do a lot of different characters. The first time I was just felt really honored and like, oh, neat. I think I have great characters. I think I can be prepared for this. I think I can do a good job. I remember walking. My main goal was just not to give it more weight than it deserved in my world. Right. Which is, I have a great job that I love. I'm not someone who has been able. I can't afford cable. I don't have TiVo, so I can't watch it. I don't see the show. I've been performing every night for the past 3 years. I'm not up on Saturday Night Live, so I just didn't want to be nervous because I was like, how can I be nervous about something I don't even take in? And I was walking to the audition, and you have to pass this gallery from the hotel they put me up at both times to 30 Rock Rockefeller Center. And there was this huge canvas in this gallery that said, stay calm, and I was like, that's my #1 goal. Just stay calm. This is what you do. And to be able to show Lauren Michaels and that staff original stuff that I wrote, I was just like, what an awesome opportunity. Enjoy it, you know? And I went in there, and the hardest part is just sometimes you have to wait a long time. They put you in professional. It's a screen test. So, and you can watch people's screen tests. You can watch Will Ferrell's on the Best of Will Ferrell. Some people have their auditions on the Best of DVDs. One of the hardest things for me was just that you get professional hair and makeup done because you're going to be filmed and under all the lights on the actual stage, which is intimidating. And the hardest part for me was just you're ready at that point. When you're walking, you're prepared, you're ready, and then you might have to wait for a long time. And any minute they can come get you. You're sitting in a dressing room and you're waiting for them to come, and it's like it could be 5 minutes, it could be 3 hours, and you just have to be ready at any point. It's like, do I keep running my stuff, or do I listen to music, or do I call my mom? You know, like how to pass that time without getting more and more anxious. You know, that was a difficult part. But the first time I felt like I did well. The second time, to get a second chance in 6 months is such a amazingly cool opportunity. From top to finish, the second chance was just, I just had fun. Because I knew it was easier to know and believe that I just had nothing to lose. And, you know, even though I didn't know how I did the last time, because you don't get feedback. The only feedback you get is, oh, someone else got it. I see them on TV, and I'm not. So it was kind of like positive feedback in a way to be invited again. And then just to, again, be able to take my time with stuff that I wrote, that's my original stuff, with some of the best comedy writers watching. Such a cool life opportunity. To get it twice, I had a blast the second time. And to be able to do it once and get all the anxiety out, and then to do it a second time and just have fun. I wish that for everybody. And
a lot of times it doesn't matter how good you are or how much they love you. I mean, for instance, when Steve Carell hosted SNL this past year, he mentioned that he auditioned and they took Will Ferrell instead of him.
Of course,
and, you know,
so many people, you know. Jim Carrey has talked about how he was auditioned a few times, you know, and didn't get it. And it's like, there are so many things out of your control.
Now, if you looked like Michelle Obama, you probably would have been a shoo-in.
Yeah, I probably would have. But unfortunately, I look more like Tina Fey, and she already hit this out of the ballpark. So
do you have any advice to performers out there that, you know, want to get where you are, other than work hard?
For me, the most important thing is do it because you love what you're doing right now. Be happy with what you're doing now. Enjoy your improv team, and don't, you know, enjoy what you're doing. If you're just there to get to the next thing, I got no time. There's so many people doing that, and then you're judging people, and it just makes it this ugly. It consumes people like The Ring. People turn into Gollum, and it's like, you gotta be cool with. If this is it, what I have at Second City was my dream job. Now I have it. It's awesome now to entertain. What would be the next dream job?
Chicago is filled with greatness. Great stadiums, parks, the lake, all pure Chicago. And so is Rogers Auto Group, famous for exceptional service and their no baloney low price guarantee. No wonder they were chosen Chicago's auto store. Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Hyundai, and quality certified pre-owned vehicles. In the new South Loop, 2720 South Michigan Avenue. Online at rogersautogroup.net.
Sweet Deal Chicago.
Rogers Auto Group, Chicago's auto store.